Hey everyone, today we have a short guide to the rank 6 fights for the new Brawlers guild in World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth patch 8.1.5. The fights in rank 6 are all fun fights, but all include a significantly increased DPS check compared to the previous ranks. If you've struggled with DPS in the previous ranks, it may be worth your while to seek additional gear or empower your character with flasks, food, or potion buffs. You can also party with mages or warriors for intellect or attack power buffs to increase your damage as well. The first rank 6 fight is the Viper Nibbly, WoW's version of the classic arcade game Snake. DPS Nibbly while kiting him around the room. Nibbly will occasionally cast Acid Spit, leaving a pool in a random location on the ground which you'll need to avoid. Nibbly will also leave a trail behind him as he moves. If he ever walks into his own acid trail, or the puddles left behind by Acid Spit, he'll enrage with his Nibbly buff and will become much more dangerous. This makes the fight critically reliant on good kiting and space management. For melee, turn off auto-run and backpedal to keep Nibbly moving at a good pace to stay out of poison, and be mindful of the acid puddles around the room so you don't accidentally back into one. For casters, space management and higher DPS are more important as you'll need to keep Nibbly moving, and letting him reach you during a cast will allow him to stop in acid and buff himself. The second encounter in rank 6 is Stitches. Stitches is an abomination with two abilities of note. First, Stitches creates a pool of rot around him which applies the Aura of Rot debuff each second while you stand in it. If you ever reach 10 stacks of Aura of Rot, you'll instantly be killed. If you ever leave the pool of Rot, Stitches will cast his hook to grip you back to the center, as well as applying the Stitches hook debuff which slows you down for the rest of the fight. This means that each time you leave the pool of Rot, it becomes harder and harder to escape Stitches, presenting a soft enrage time around the boss. Paired with Stitch's higher health pool, this becomes one of the highest DPS requirement fights in the entire Brawlers guild. Be sure to use potions and buffs, and possibly even bloodlust or heroism effects to help you beat the DPS check. It is worth noting at the time of this writing this fight was very buggy and stacks of Aura of Rot seem to be applied and fall off randomly, sometimes causing the player to instantly jump to 8 or 9 stacks and making escaping impossible. While we did eventually kill Stitches, it took nearly a dozen pulls, and most of those, there was little to be done to prevent our deaths. One thing we did find that was very helpful was stepping out of the pool and back in quickly will allow you to drop those stacks without Stitches ever being able to cast his hook, and thus avoiding that slow, which made it much easier to drop those stacks later in the fight. The third rank 6 encounter is Robe Robber Robert. Robert has a huge health pool, so the only way to kill him is to strip his clothes off by dragging him into the Strip Storm tornadoes that he spawns, or by interrupting his disrobing strike with an interrupt, stun, knockback, or CC effect. Stepping into a tornado, or if the interrupt is missed, Robert instead strips off a piece of your gear, significantly reducing your health and damage output. Once you've stripped 7 articles of clothing off Robert, he'll take the Shame debuff, preventing his melee attacks and increasing his damage taken by 1000%. Save major cooldowns for after you've disrobed Robert, and burn him quickly to beat the enrage timer. The final encounter in rank 6 is Mecha Bruce, the beloved rank 1 Crocolisk with some major improvements. Mecha Bruce has the empowered Chomp 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 attack, which must be avoided, as well as 2 new attacks. After 2 casts of Chomp 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 Chomp, Bruce will cast Better, Stronger, Faster, increasing his armor, followed by Stasis Beam, which will stun you for 3 seconds. When Bruce begins these casts, move to the far side of the arena to prevent him from attacking you during the stun for as long as possible. Bruce will also periodically cast Mecha Armor Beta, which will increase his movement and attack speed, making it harder and harder to safely evade Chomp 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 Chomp. With an increased health pool, this fight also represents a major DPS check, so come prepared to deal with the damage requirements. That's all for today. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe.